Good morning, Kennedy Dragons. Today is Friday, August 13th, 2021. It is the 9th day of school, Friday the 13th. Scary. I'm Mr. Butcher, and it is my job to keep you safe so that you can show us how responsible or how excellent you guys can be. We hope you left your average in the car or on the bus so you're ready to have a respectful and responsible day. Fridays are awesome because they're Fridays, but also, too, that means Dad Joke Friday. So, here we go. What do you call a fibbing cat? Lion. Yeah. All right. First, now we want to talk about one of our responsibilities. One of our responsibilities is to be ready to show respect for our rights we have in this country and our school. We do this by daily saying the pledge to the flag and our school pledge. When we do this, we want to stand up tall, stop what we're doing, stand up tall, put our hand over our hearts like this. We want to say the pledge loudly, clearly, and with pride. Don't worry if you don't know it. Just listen and try to follow along. You'll get it in no time. Leading us in the pledge today is Miss Maulson and Miss Hurst.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the Kennedy School Pledge.
I pledge myself as a Kennedy Dragon to be ready for the day ahead of me. I will be respectful of myself, my teachers, and all others I meet throughout the day. I promise to be responsible for myself, my actions, and my learning. I will work my hardest to be the best dragon I can be.
Please take a moment to reflect silently on our day, our activities, and what we hope to accomplish. All right, it's time for another dad joke. This one's a math dad joke. How do you make 7 even? Take away the S. You gotta be able to spell. Okay. All right. Another responsibility that we have is to keep ourselves and others safe. And we can do this by making sure that we wash our hands frequently throughout the day. When we wash our hands, we want to make sure that we're using soap and water or an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. And we want to make sure that we're washing all parts of our hands and doing it for at least 20 seconds. So let's go ahead and model what good hand washing looks like right now. Get yourself some hand sanitizer or some soap. Okay, and let's go. We want to get the front of our hands, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to get the back of one hand, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the back of another hand, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get in between our fingers, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get our fingertips, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get your other fingertip, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get your thumb, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the other thumb, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your wrist, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your other wrist, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now your hands are nice and clean. Now that we're ready for the day, because we've washed our hands, said our pledge, and done our moment of silence, it is now time to show respect for those who have birthdays today and over the weekend. Happy birthday today to Bella Covarrubias, who's 9 years old, Gary X. Ortiz Rivera, who's 7 years old, and Jordan Barajas, who is 8 years old. On Saturday, Simon Yang will be 7, Brian Mendez Torres will be 7, Cooper Swanson will be 6, Janelle Starks will be 10, Mary Kay Flores will be 4 years old, and Mr. Vickers will have a birthday as well. On Sunday, Holly Faye will be 5 years old. Happy birthday to you guys. Another responsibility that we have is making our lunch choice. We want to make sure we're making our lunch choice. So on Friday, of course, we're having pizza. So personal pan pizza, sweet yellow corn, 2 adjectives, zucchini dippers, tropical fruit, and the school-baked cookie. If you don't want that personal pan, you can always get yogurt muffin, or you can get your yogurt muffin or PB&J. One of our goals this year is to increase our vocabulary, and one way we're going about that is to use pictures to expose ourselves to different words. Each week, we have a picture for you, and each day we'll ask you to look for specific parts of speech. Here's the picture that we have. Yesterday we asked you for adjectives and adverbs. Miss Kinney, Miss Jackson, Mr. McCoy, Miss Brown, Miss Bowers, Miss Pfister, Miss Shaw, Miss Bryan, Miss Ballard. I said Miss Ballard twice. No, Bowers and Ballard. Miss Stevens and Miss Ham all gave responses yesterday. We had Mr. McCoy who gave some adjectives like multicolored, crystal blue, and clear. They also gave some adverbs. Adverbs are words that describe verbs. He said that the fish are swimming quickly or gently. Miss Stevens, the purple and yellow fish are beautiful. 3 adjectives. And then this one right here from Miss Ham's class has adjectives and adverbs. The elderly, meaning really old, turtle has stared hungrily. The elderly turtle stared hungrily at the smaller fish. So an adjective to describe the turtle, elderly. An adverb to describe how they stared, hungrily, and smaller to describe the fish. So great job on that. Today we're looking for prepositions and prepositional phrases. Prepositions are words that describe, that are used to show the relationship between 2 nouns, or a noun and a pronoun. So like the turtle is above, the turtle is under the water. You're talking about where the turtle is in relationship to the water. Or the fish is swimming through the coral. So that's a preposition. Preposition is through. The prepositional phrase is through the water or through the coral. So look for prepositions and prepositional. All right, before we do our message of the day, let's do 2 more dad jokes. First one, how does Moses make coffee? He brews it. Oh, Bible jokes. Those are great. What was the last thing Grandpa said before he kicked the bucket? Hey, grandson, how far do you think this bucket will go? There you go. All right, our morning message today is on respect, character, and honor. We all seem to want more and better things. We want more toys. We want more video games. We want a better or a bigger TV. We want a new computer, better Wi-Fi, or new clothes. We collect stuff like crazy. But in the end, how important do you think that stuff is anyway? Is it more important than the love that you get from those who care about you? Is it more important than what you learn at school? The most valuable things you will ever own are things that you cannot touch, see, or feel. Touch or see, like a good heart or a brilliant mind. So today, start collecting the stuff of real winners by being the very best you can be to yourself and to others. With something to think about on Mr. Butcher Make Today, your masterpiece or not, remember, choice yours. That's true. There's a saying that says you never see a moving truck following a hearse. That's because you can't take your stuff with you. The stuff that you buy and the stuff that you own, that's great. And there's nothing like this is an awesome shirt. I love my new shirt. But this shirt, at the end of the day, it's just a shirt. That's it. It doesn't make me feel any better or anything like that. It's just the smiles that I get from people, the laughs that I share with people, the hugs that I get from kids. That's what's important. So make sure you think about that. All right. That is all we have for announcements. So please help me.
Me and your teachers keep you safe. That is our job.
And your job is to help us keep you safe.
And you can help us by being a ready, respectful, and responsible student who is focused on graduating in the year.
Because when you are a ready, respectful, and responsible student focused on graduation, you are fully committed to student success. I love you very much. Have a vocabulary. Vocabulary is how many words you know, and the best way to learn new words is to read. Second thing, we want to model what good readers do. Good readers read fluently, which means they read the words correctly at a good pace, not too fast, not too slow. And the third thing, we want to practice good comprehension skills. As you read, you want to be listening for the story elements, the character, who or what the story's about, the setting, where and when the story's taking place, and the sequence of events, what happens first, next, and last. So that's why we're going to read. Today's book is My New Teacher and Me by Al Yankovic. He's the author. If you're my age or older, you know who Weird Al is. He sings songs, but he also writes books. The illustrator was Wes Hargis. So Al Yankovic wrote the words. Wes Hargis drew the pictures. My new teacher and me. The first day of school. It was finally here. I wondered who'd be my new teacher this year. Then at 8:30 sharp, a tall stranger walked in. He stood by the chalkboard and stroked his long chin. He said, "I'm Mr. Booth, and I'm happy to say I'll be teaching you all about fractions today. Now open your textbooks to page number 3. And that's when he stopped and he stared right at me. He said, "You, young man, what's that filth on your shirt? You can't come into my classroom with all covered in dirt." I said, "Hi, nice to meet you, sir. Billy's the name. See, a funny thing happened before the bus came. I was digging to china in my backyard, and I almost was there when I hit something hard. Well, I dug and I dug and I dug a bit more and discovered the skull of a real dinosaur. And I would have cleaned up, sir, but hey, I'm no fool. I just couldn't be late on the first day of school." For a second or two, Mr. Booth kind of froze. Then he walked up to me and he looked down his nose. "I don't tolerate nonsense, no, not in 1 degree. And you and your story sounds highly unlikely to me." "Why, of course it's unlikely," I said. "Oh, by far. The awesomest thing in the world, they often are. For instance, the friend of my third cousin, Ned's, got a farm where the dairy cows have 2 heads. That's so highly unlikely the tourists all stop just to take their own pictures at $3 a pop." "Completely ridiculous," sneered Mr. Booth. "Please stop wasting our time. Just stick to the truth." Well, the truth can seem crazy, like that day in June when my grandfather famously walked on the moon. And he played the ukulele while flying a kite. It was all in the papers. You've heard of it, right? You know what? My grandfather even implied someday he might take me along for the ride. The class started cheering, take us too!" Then Mr. Booth bristled and snapped, "That'll do. Pure poppycock, class. Please be quiet. Be still. He's not going off to the moon. He never will." "That's all right," I told him. "The moon's okay, but I've been to much cooler places anyway. I just went on vacation with my dad and my mom to an island somewhere between Norway and Guam, where the blueberry muffins grow right on the trees, and you flip inside out every time you sneeze. And the rabbits say moo, and the pet poodles go neigh, and the traffic light colors are pink, blue, and gray. Oh, and every third Thursday, about 1:30, all the gravity stops. Wow, is that ever fun? There's a squid eating contest, and hey, if you win it, then you'll be the king for exactly 1 minute. Then everyone does what you tell them to do. Man, I sure hope we get back to next year's too. Mr. Booth didn't care for the story one bit. He burrowed his brow and said, "Okay, that's it. Admit that your stories are simply absurd. I just don't believe them. Not one single word." Then I cleared my throat. "Well, sir, you know, just because you don't believe doesn't mean it's not so. Just because you can't imagine it, that doesn't mean that it simply can't be or won't ever be seen. I bet every great thinker and leader we've got could see all kinds of things other people could not. So then why get upset if someone like me tries to look at the world a little bit differently?" "Enough," said Mr. Booth. "No more of these stunts. You'll march straight to the principal's office at once." Something slipped from my book as I walked to the door. Mr. Booth picked up, and his jaw hit the floor. It was me and a cow with not one head but two. Oh, I said, I was planning to give that to you. It's a little good luck gift. I got it for free. He stared hard at the photo, and then he looked back at me. I avoided the principal's office that day. In fact, old Mr. Booth put my gift on display. He steals a quick glance at it once in a while, and I'm not even kidding. I once saw him smile. We should get along fine, and it's certainly clear there's a lot we'll be teaching each other this year, like how all of my stories are perfectly true. Except for, well, maybe a detail or two. My New Teacher and Me by Al Yankovic.